Y'all ready to head off the trails? I'm the cryptid huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on the Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do, because we would love to have you. Shout out to Bumblefoot for that amazing intro music. We really do appreciate that. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. You guys can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Cryptid Huntress. And you guys, please shop at War Woman Goods on Etsy. And this weekend, I have a sale. It actually ends at midnight. Okay, but it's War Woman Goods. And if you use the promo code Bigfoot at checkout, you get a discount. I just wanted to give a thank you to all of my audience out there. So you guys, please go shop at War Woman Goods. And I know it's late. I've been promoting this on all my other shows, but yeah, go do that. Okay. I have a fantastic guest here at SOR tonight. I have Tex Wesson backstage, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. But don't forget that right after this show, After Hours has a great program set up for you guys. So let's get to our guest. Tex Wesson is creator of Trinity Para-Cryptid Research and Texas Front Porch on YouTube. He's a field researcher and has encountered Bigfoot, Dogman, and the paranormal, along with Jason Mclean, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Bob Van Buren, and myself, Jessica Jones. They have several shows each week. I was going to say 5, but I think there's more now. So we have a lot of shows over at Texas Front Porch. And so please, there's 6. I see. Tex is holding up the 6 fingers. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tex Wesson. Hey, Tex.
Hey. Howdy.
Hey, I knew there were more than 5. I wrote down 5, but they just keep growing. It's like gremlins when you get them wet. Little gizmo. Yeah. They just keep multiplying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, Jason and Rob, they kind of like gremlins, but
well, we got a whole team full of gremlins. Look at us.
We do. Well, Rob fights gremlins. He was fighting gremlins for a long time with his computer stuff, But,
the computer gremlins, that's right. He had some kind of technology gremlins going on there for a while.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I think I did too. Actually, when I first came on with Texas Front Porch, I had computer gremlins. My screen was blurry every time, but it turns out it was Comcast. It wasn't gremlins. It was my Comcast company, Xfinity. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get into the show, Tex. Just kidding.
You come on my show and you get where you work out all the gremlins, and then you can go on your own, So
exactly right. Well, we got it. We got to practice makes perfect, right? So
there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have built up a pretty hefty, amazing team over at Texas Front Porch, and by hefty, I mean some heavy hitters. I don't mean any other kind of hefty way. But
I was fixing to say it. I was looking to ask that was a fat joke.
It's not a fat joke. It's not. I meant heavy hitters. I had to clarify. Okay. So
you're
I'm part of it.
Both counts, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. But we have a really good time over at Texas Front Porch, and so
we do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of my audience here is familiar with Texas Front Porch, but give us a little background on Texas Front Porch and Trinity Para-Cryptid group. Okay. Tell us about it.
Well, and the first thing that I created was the Trinity Para-Cryptid Research Group. That is such a freaking mouthful to say that we all kind of, I guess, had a board meeting, I guess it was. And it was Jason's idea to rebrand. And I fought them tooth and nail. I did not want to do, make it Texas Front Porch because I didn't want. It's not all about me, and I try to be. It's more about promoting y'all. I want y'all to springboard and go do great things because I think all of you are capable of it.
Well, thank you.
I'm happy with the way it's going, and you're right. It's a fantastic team. And I was talking to somebody earlier today because I had an interview today. And I was telling them about that too. And it's not like I went out recruiting, you know, it, we all kind of fell in together, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I think that's what makes it so special, because it was all of us met, you know, and then we just kind of clicked, and the chemistry is what brought us together, you know.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is everybody, all the hosts, all have different views on everything, you know. Because me and you don't agree on everything. Me and Jason don't agree on everything. Me and Rob don't agree on everything, and so we bring a lot of different perspectives to a lot of different subjects, you know.
We
And
do. It's because of our
I,
experience, though. Yeah.
right,
It's all
and
different.
I think what we're able to do is because we've been trying to bridge the gap, um, of of all these camps coming together and being able to talk to each other, you
Yeah.
know. And I think we're leading by example, because just because we don't have the same view on some doesn't mean we can't have an open, friendly, intelligent debate or conversation about it. You know, that's what we want everybody
Exactly.
else to do. So,
That's right. I love that about our group. Now, this Big Dog 5758, that's Mark. Mark, thank you so much. He did, everybody, he did get a tarot reading with me. And so thank you for that beautiful super chat, and for your compliment. It means a lot to me. I appreciate that. And
awesome.
so, yeah, thank you so much, Mark. You're awesome. But yeah, okay. Tex, you're so right. I think that's what makes our team very unique, is like we're all so different. But we
Mm-hmm.
all have the same common goal, and that's to
Right.
spread the truth and look for the truth, and to try to solve some of these mysteries of the
Mm-hmm.
world. And we all have such different experiences in our lives, from research backgrounds to just experiencing things like Rob, experiencing an actual Bigfoot, vocalizing right in front of him. And,
Yeah.
and Jason's a biblical scholar and who's actually seen modern day living dinosaurs, a pterosaur.
Yep.
You've had Dogman experience. I've been in the Bigfoot field research for a long time too. And I'm a remote viewer. So I think it makes kind
Yeah.
of a cool team.
I was just fixing to say, you know, don't leave out the remote viewing, because it's like Big Dog says, Jessica is dead on.
Thank
Folks,
you.
you have no idea how dead she has been about several things.
I've
And
been
that
getting that a
she's
lot
learned.
lately.
Yeah, I think
Scary.
you hit that vibe. You're in,
I'm
the
there.
harmonics are on, you know.
Well, it's not like I claim to be like super psychic or anything, but we're all
Right.
psychic. And so that's kind of what I really enjoy spreading on, to the general public and everyone who watches this, is that we are all psychic. We all have enhanced human capabilities, but it's just about tapping into it. And I just have been
Right.
fortunate enough to cross paths with people who are willing to teach me how to enhance my human capabilities, okay, and to learn remote viewing. And not everyone has been so fortunate to have that and to be so willing to learn it. Like I really took off with it because I love it. And I feel like that's part of my mission here on earth right now, is just to kind of open everyone's minds to it, and try to look into some of these really weird paranormal experiences that we have,
Mhm.
including things that have happened to you, Tex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's, to me, that's the scary part, because you've been so dead on about some other stuff
Hmm.
that it's hard for me to not ignore, but and I don't want to. I'm still in denial. So,
And
it's
that's
like going through
okay.
the. It's like going through the. I think, honestly, I think dealing with something like this is not unlike dealing with grief. There's stages
Yeah.
you go through, you
Hmm.
know, just like any traumatic event, and that's what I find myself in. And it dawned on me today, because I did talk about what we're going to talk about to somebody else today too, off camera and stuff. But
Okay.
the fact that what happened to me, what you saw, how I'm dealing with it, and the like I said, I think I'm in denial, but I think, and I'd mentioned to you that if I can help somebody, because that's another one of our goals on our channel, is to help people that go through this, because it's hard to deal with it. If I can let people see me going through this and dealing with this in almost real time, maybe that's what I'm meant to do.
I think
Maybe
so.
y'all are
I think that's
maybe
right.
maybe y'all are meant to see me struggle with this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so y'all can maybe it'll help somebody else.
Yeah.
And when you uncork the bottle on this genie that you let out,
Yeah.
it amazed me how many of my friends and everybody that watches the show and all this kind of stuff came forward
Mm-hmm.
and were in support of me, because
Very much.
it really floored me. It really has. I still
Yeah.
got people checking up on me,
Well,
so
that's great. Well, that's what we're
yeah,
here for. We're a big community. And you know what? Texas Front Porch and all the people, all of our crew over there, like we are like a big support system for people who have experienced the paranormal.
yep.
And it's like an AA, but for paranormal experiencers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something like that. Just a big support group. Yeah. Wink at me. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that super chat. Uh, you and your
Thank you, Wink.
sister, you guys are awesome. Y'all are amazing. Yeah,
I am.
I mean, sport has been
I'm
amazing
so
the past couple nights, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
I'm so
And
glad
we,
that she came out of the hurricane safe. I was really worried about her.
yeah,
So
exactly. Everybody yeah, our thoughts and prayers have been with everybody down along the East Coast and down in Florida.
mhm.
Luckily, I've heard from most of the people that I'm in contact with quite often down there. Everybody's okay so far. I think I've heard from everybody so far that I keep in contact with. But we're thinking about y'all. And luckily, I'm down here in the South too, but I'm on the west side of Georgia, so we didn't get hit at all. But even my uncles up in Myrtle Beach, like they got hit. And David Pardue up in North Carolina, he's a Bigfoot field researcher. He was out without power for a while, so I hope that his powers come back on. I haven't heard back from him. But anyways, we do love you guys. We know, we want y'all to know we're thinking about you. Okay, but thank you. But yeah, talking about a support system. I mean, we've got a big support system, Tex, and so yeah, and also that's why when you had some missing time in Brown Springs, and that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. Um,
Mhm.
you had some an interesting thing happen to you, and I'd love for you to tell the audience about what happened, so that we can kind of get into how I ended up remote viewing that incident for you, because there's a lot of hidden dangers in the paranormal field research
It
field.
really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And things we don't know about, like there could be things that just seem kind of off, and like you just go about your life like, well, I don't know why my equipment went forward an hour or backwards an hour. It doesn't make
Right.
sense, but oh well,
Yeah.
well, we've looked into this and we've gotten some answers. Tell us about what happened to you.
Well, I was out researching, and a lot of people may know the guy DDoS, and we were in Brown Springs, Oklahoma, and we were going down through the bottoms, and it was what's weird about it is we didn't like wake up on the ground or anything like that. We thought, man, I'm getting kind of hungry. Let's head back and grab some lunch. We thought it was we got there about 8:30 in the morning, and we thought it was around noon, and we had to pick his kids up from the bus station or bus stop and whatever. So we said, well, let's go grab some lunch, and then 3:30 or whatever, we'll go pick the kids up. So we headed back to the truck. We missed the turnoff to go to the truck by a quarter of a mile.
It's a long
And
way.
yeah, so we figured that out. We turned around and went back. Didn't have any problem finding it. Went right back over the truck. Thank you, Caroline. And we looked when we looked at the clock. It was like 4 o'clock in the evening.
That's a long time.
And so we was like, what the hell, And but we didn't. We just kind of wrote it off. Really, I mean, we really did. Well, then he reviewed the footage and he called me. He goes, "Man, you got to see this footage." I said, well, "What's going on with it?" He goes, "Well, somebody or something had the camera and was running through the woods, turning in circles, and neither one of us could be seen." So next time I was with him, I saw that part of the footage, but that's the only part I saw. And I'm like, man, that's weird. And another thing that was weird about the footage is, when you film with a digital camera and you start and stop, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was all jumbled up. 1, 9, 17, 4, And it's like, man, that's weird. And we kind of talked about it every once in a while, but we never really, really got into depth about it. We never, we didn't want to believe that we were abducted or anything like that. We just, something weird happened and we lost track of time. That's the way we looked at it. And, yeah. Well, then you remote viewed it, and you want to tell everybody what you found, and then we'll,
yeah.
Because that, when you remote viewed it, if I remember right, we had one show where you remote viewed it, and then we did another show, and that's when the other thing came to surface.
Well, the people in the live chat started who have firsthand knowledge of what happened and seen the video. They had seen more than you had seen, and they were actually typing into the live chat what they had seen firsthand on that video, on that camera, and it completely correlated to my remote viewing data. And it's stuff you didn't even know about.
Nope. And it shows. I watched that back, and I was almost ashamed of how much it rattled me, because you can, I mean, it kind of got to me, and you're right, Cryptid Bill. You are right. And I do count myself very, very lucky. And the things that you told me, the one saving grace that's helping me really be okay with this, and I know I've harped on this a lot with you, is the fact that you said I fought.
You did. Yeah.
And I didn't win, evidently, but I put up a fight. Hey, I didn't lay down. So, that's important to me. Yeah. And that's because I've always said I'm going out of this world just like I came in, buck naked, kicking and screaming, covered in blood. So
yeah, you did. Well, everything just happened so fast. And what I found really fascinating was that your partner you were out there with, he actually had even missed picking up his kids at school that day, or being at the bus stop. I mean, it's pretty profound, actually. But a lot of times when we have stuff that's so profound, our rational minds try to make sense of it, so we discount it. Like, well, it's all my fault. We overwalked. We walked a little too far past the path, and so we want to make sense of it. Okay, that's just our brains trying to protect us, first of all. And so, but you were talking about this missing time, and we decided, let's remote view this, and maybe we'll do a show about it. And so I actually remote viewed what happened to you and your partner, and it was pretty profound. So much so that, you had told me that you wanted me to reveal the data and surprise you on the show live on air. Yeah. And I was refusing to do that. I knew you needed to have time to process this, because it was so much had happened to you that you were completely unaware of. And so I knew that throwing that on you on live on air would have been a disservice. Okay. And so so I contacted you the minute I did this.
Yeah, you did. I was at work.
And we talked about it. Yeah. And I called you, and I knew that it would take some time for it to sink in. Okay. And but I saw that you guys were out there walking around, and it was like a clap of thunder and lightning. You were just you were taken into the you were taken into it was actually like a spaceship. It was what we would consider a spaceship. It was I was getting tic tac type shape, but then I got vesica pisces, so that is like a football shaped. So kind of tic tac football shaped. I did find a picture that looks kind of similar to it. I'll pull up a little bit. Now this was during the daytime. This was not at night,
Right.
and it was also at an area that Tex, you do a lot of research at
Mm-hmm.
Brown Springs, Oklahoma, and this is a picture I got off the internet. This is just some of the land there. But what is some of the history behind Brown Springs? Can we talk about that for just a minute?
Sure. It's got a dark and bloody history, actually. There are a lot of you know Indian territory, and that was a good crossing right there for the Red River. So there were a lot of conflicts there. And if you jump forward in time a little bit, there were, hey Rob, there the Fort Worth, Dallas Fort Worth mob.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Wink. You're a sweetheart. Um, they used it for a body dump, and in fact, we filmed a documentary down there with Tippa TV, and 2 weeks after we filmed the documentary, there was a body found.
Ooh,
So,
not
and then
surprising.
the old boy that owned that was in charge of the place or whatever, Love, which is the place is named after, and the county's named after. Um, from what we found out, and he owned like 100 slaves, and he was Native American. Well, then the people that took over from him was white folks, and he had established a family cemetery up there. Well, they used it, and then another old boy took over, and he actually built pig pens up in the cemetery because it was on a hill and had good drainage and had fresh
Okay.
water down at the bottom of it. Because what a lot of people don't know is Brown Springs is an actual spring, and it bubbles up at the bottom of the cemetery. It sits up on a hill about 100 yards off. So yeah, you got all that history, and there's we've contacted. We actually decaught an image of what appears to be a 14-foot dark entity, and
Wow.
they're at the bottom of the cemetery in the trees. And man, we just got overwhelming support in here tonight. It's awesome.
We do. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for everybody for being here tonight. We do appreciate it.
And so, well, then one of the last times we were out there, one of our trackers, Gary Spikes Jr. and
Mm-hmm.
his dad were with us. They're two of the best trackers on the planet, guys. They really are. Y'all need to go pay them a visit over P3. Um, he found a hoof print, and nothing special about a hoof print, right?
Could be a
People
horse,
Yeah, it could be a horse,
but
whatever.
could also be
But
a goat man.
well, the thing about this thing, it was 12 to 14 inches across.
A hoof
So
print that
yeah,
big?
yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh. I've not heard of one of those before. That's huge.
well, and I'm having flashbacks of
Oh my gosh.
the movie Bigfoot, the Lost Tapes, or whatever it was,
Hmm.
and the final scene.
Yeah.
It's the big hoof steps in the living room, and he's like, "It's not Bigfoot." So, and we've had so much strange paranormal stuff happen to us up there. You were talking about equipment malfunctions.
Yeah.
Me and Amy um, and Laney and Junior and Senior were up there the same night he found the hoof print coming out. We had all kinds of experiences, but mine and Amy's lights, and there were different kinds of lights, went out at the same time.
Hmm.
So, and we had got
Interesting.
voices, all kinds of stuff. So, and Junior and Senior were seeing entities, and they would disappear when you shine a light on, reappear when you turn it off. I mean, it's just all kinds of crazy stuff. But
Wow. Yeah. Well, before we get into my remote viewing data of your missing time, you had me or asked me, it's the first time I met you, to remote view a double homicide at Brown Springs.
Yes. Yes.
And I did that. And it was suspected that was like a Gugway or a Dogman that had done that
Right.
to a couple who had been parking out there. They were both brutally murdered. I mean, brutally. And it was to the extent that people thought, oh, that couldn't have been humans. Okay,
Right.
well, I did pick up that there was a lot of satanic rituals going on out there, and it was actually some really bad humans that had done that to them.
Yeah.
However, I know this is after, down the road, I started getting more information in, okay, about werewolves, okay, and so werewolves are not dogmen, and
Right.
those are actual humans that turn into a werewolf. And I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge of those at the time, but they were more human, and it said that they are like the guardians or the guards for when high level Satanists are doing satanic rituals out in places like Brown Springs. Okay, so is it possible that those people were attacked by a werewolf out there? Yes, perhaps.
Well, and that leads into another experience that we had out there. We pulled up to the foot of the cemetery one night, and the next thing we know, we're surrounded by 5 cops.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a mixture of tribal police and sheriff's deputies, and they were on the lookout for a group of women in a black SUV that were all dressed in black and reportedly sacrificing chickens.
Chickens as in actual chicken animals, right? Like
right,
chickens,
right.
Because that's code word for something else. We're not going to go there, but I know what that is. Okay.
Well, I hope it was actual chicken. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But yeah, so you've got that activity out there too, and unfortunately, you've also got a lot of drug activity out there.
Okay. So it's an area of like super high strangeness on top of satanic rituals, on top of homicides, the mob putting people in pig pens, mob gang activity and all that stuff. I mean, it is just a very large, piece of land of just high strangeness and dark energy. Right. So, and apparently there's even more. There's not just activity on the land, there's activity in the sky. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's what I picked up on. Yeah. So I picked up on that. So we're going to get into your missing time. Okay. Because, I've experienced missing time in the field. A lot of people I know have experienced missing time. My team, we have remote viewed things that have happened to us out there. And there's usually ET involvement. Okay. There's usually ET involvement. Now I don't go in like front loaded thinking like, oh, he got abducted. I just let my remote viewing data go where it goes. Okay. But right off the bat, boom, lightning bolt. I got lightning bolt and thunder. I've got my data right here beside me, everybody. So I'm referring to it tonight, but you were taken in a flash of light. Okay. And you had somebody with you. Okay. So your partner was out there with you. Well, he went running. Okay. You were taken and he took off running. Okay. This is what I was remote viewing. I was picking up on Blair Witch, okay, like a Blair Witch scene where somebody's running with like a camera and it's like shaky and you don't know what's happening and it's dark and you're running through the woods. It was almost making me sick. It was like, it was just chaos and fear and confusion, but you were gone. You weren't anywhere around, okay, but your partner had taken off running. And I picked up on Fire in the Sky. So is it Travis Walton? Is that his name?
I think so, yeah.
Who got abducted. Yeah. I picked up on Fire in the Sky and ETs. Okay, so this was absolutely alien, had alien ET involvement. And I immediately got that your memory was completely wiped of all of this, and so was his. So you guys would not have any recollection of any of this. But you were taken into a craft. Okay, you were taken into craft, and you were used. They took you as a specimen. Okay, so you're a specimen, but let me tell you, when they targeted you, Tex, they were actually targeting you because what they did was they hooked you up there and they did some experiments on you, but they gave you upgrades. Okay, so you were targeted for upgrades, and it was with your psychic abilities. and your I believe it was clairaudience. Okay, so that would be like your hearing things that most people can't hear. But you have, I did pick up that you were chipped. Okay, you have some sort of chip inside of you. I don't know if they put it in you there or if you already had one. I believe that you probably have been abducted before. Okay, and this was your yearly checkup. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm
Well, and
kidding.
there
I
was
say that
something funny.
joking.
There was something funny that you picked up too. And it was like when they got, oh, we got a big one.
Oh, I've got that. That's coming. Oh yeah, that's coming. That's here. So, but I was picking up on like a very metallic type of area that you were in. It was like a almost like a laboratory type of setting, and it said he tried to escape and run, but there was no escape. So you did try to escape. You tried to get out of there. You tried to fight, but there was no escaping. Once they hone in on you, you just you get taken up, and you got put back in place, and the time was off. Okay, so there's more to that, of course, but that's my general data for that one. And I went back in. I just wanted to. That was my target where I was just trying to get an overall feel of what happened to you
Right.
guys. And then I did another target text, and I was like, well, what? Why did they take Tex? Like, why did they want Tex out of everyone? Because I saw they did target you to take you up there. You know what they told me? They said, because we got us a big one. That's what they said. We got us a big one. They were so they got you, and they said they got us a big one. Okay, and I know that we joked about it. It's not really funny, but it's kind of funny
It makes me laugh. It almost makes it
because
a
you're
little
big.
more.
You're a big guy. Like
It makes it a
you know,
little more bearable. Actually, I
it's
mean,
awesome.
because I try to
Hey, they
find
got
humor with
jokes.
everything. Yeah, I love it. You know,
Apparently, they have jokes too. We all even the ETs have jokes. Okay, so but anyways, so there was a little bit also. It was like you guys were kind of in all the cases that I remote view, it's always about trespassing, and that's why a lot of the Bigfoots and the Dogmen attack people or they try to yell at people. It's because they feel like that's their territory, and so you're in some sort of territory out there that was kind of off limits. It was kind of like theirs, I guess, and they felt like that was their area. And so when you overstepped into that area, you and your partner there, and they were like, well, let's go ahead. It's time to take Tex today, I guess. Um, but yeah, they let's see, they
well,
were
you said they did get D too. I mean, he
they
didn't
did get
make it.
him too. Yeah, they got him too, but he ran. Like they got you
Yeah,
first, and then he took off running, and then they eventually got him too. Now I did not see them take him. I saw them take you.
right.
Okay, but I did pick up. They got both of you guys. Yeah.
I
Now
was
you're the
reading
one that they gave
paramedics.
upgrades to. I
I was
don't know
reading
about him.
Pyromedics. Uh, Paramedics says, did they say we're going to need a bigger craft?
Yeah,
Like,
no, they
oh,
didn't. They just said we got us a big one. We got us a big one. Okay,
we're going to need a
but
bigger boat.
we we need a bigger. Yes, it slowed the craft down a little bit once you got up there,
There you
Tex.
go.
And I'm kidding.
I was dragging my feet.
I'm kidding. It's funny that it is funny we can joke about this, but that's funny. So yeah, but they did take you up there, and you weren't crazy. You did have missing time. You did get that. There's something about I was trying to figure out like why they took you, and they were doing some energy harvesting off of you in your body. I'm not sure exactly. I know if Barry Littleton were here right now, he could explain all this for us. But yeah, it's there was something about energy harvesting. Our bodies are like batteries, okay, and do let off a lot of energy. And there was something to that. But they wanted to get samples from you, and there were some kind of isotopes involved. I think that involves some kind of radiation. So we have to assume that you had a nice little dose of radiation coming in and out of that place. So
You know,
yeah,
I wonder, that brings up a strange point
okay,
because we may need to look into this. It just hit me because I've had a stress test done where they use that radioactive isotope.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that's interesting because that was in the data. So
well, see, and I wonder if maybe that's what they picked up on.
it could be. Yeah, it absolutely could be. Yeah. So I don't know, but you definitely were taken up there, but it was not for bad. It was actually to help you. And now, what did I ask you as soon as I got you on the phone? I said, did you notice any differences in your health? I didn't
Right.
tell you anything about my data yet.
No,
I wanted to know, like, if you had any changes in your health. And I was looking for. I'm going to tell me what you told me. Do you remember what you said?
I said the only thing that I've noticed is that I'm a little more tuned in as
Boom.
to
Yeah.
what's going on and what's out there when I get the what I call getting the vibe of the place when I go out there. I can tell now from the feeling I get when I step out of the truck if I'm going to run into just critters, paranormal, or nothing. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. I was wondering if you had felt like you had become more psychically switched on and tuned in. If you had gained some psychic abilities, okay, and your clairaudience, if you could hear things that other people couldn't hear, okay, that's really what I was looking for, because that is what they upgraded on you. And and I honestly, I get the feeling it's like, well, you have this channel that you do a lot of shows. You're putting out the good word on all of this paranormal stuff and really being a voice for the community. And I feel like perhaps they were giving you a leg up a little bit, not a leg up because of of what you know or anything like that. It's just what to give you that voice to be able to tune in, and not you're already empathetic about everything, but just to give you a little enhancement,
right.
to help you out, because they knew what a big job you have here. That's how kind of what I was picking up on.
Well, and and that could be that's what steered me in this direction, or
Hmm.
partially. I don't know.
Could be.
You know, because I wanted to. One of the big things I really wanted to do, because I knew when I had my Dogman encounter, I couldn't. There was, especially way back then. I was 16. There wasn't anybody you could really talk to.
Hmm.
And even when I got into this several years ago, there were people out there that would have these experiences,
Yeah.
but didn't have anybody to talk to, didn't have a support system. And I wanted to give people a platform. If they wanted to get on there and talk about it, they're more than welcome to. They don't have to. If they want to call us and just bend an ear and see what we've dealt with, and maybe we can help them that way. We're not therapists by any stretch of the imagination,
Lord, no.
but
We're not.
but
But we've experienced things.
sometimes just talking to somebody that's maybe been through something similar or the same thing will help. And that's really, the main goal, is to get the word out, get the awareness going out there, and to help people. And
Yeah.
if me going through this kind of stuff is going to do that, maybe that's what I'm meant to do. Maybe that's what we're all meant. Maybe that's why our whole team was drawn together, because we were drawn together. I didn't recruit anybody. It was like
Yeah.
I would meet y'all and the chemistry would click, you know, and next thing you know, I done talked you into coming on, being part of the show.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun too, having the show there and being able to, look into the remote viewing stuff that I do, and the missing time. This was actually is pretty special, because this is something that affected you. Tex from Texas Front Porch, and so we needed to look into this, because it's not just you that's experienced missing time; it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us, and
Yep.
there's not enough minutes in the day to look into everybody's experiences on my part. But
Right.
if I can look into yours and we can really explore it, and get some answers, it's better. It's better than nothing. Okay, and it's got to be a little traumatic, and
Mm-hmm.
And it does, you got to be brave to come out here and even talk about that, because people make jokes all the time. Like even in the chat tonight, it's like, oh, talking about getting probed. It's an ongoing joke about, say no to probes. Okay, that's something we all joke about, but it's the idea of being abducted is not fun.
Well, I even joke about it. I talk about getting the Golden Probe Award, but it's like it's like we said earlier. If me going through this, and I'm still, guys, I'm still in denial. I don't want to believe this happened. Okay, but what choice do I have? I mean, she's been so dead on about several different things. I can't dismiss this. So I have to at least give it some thought. I have to at least deal with it. Even the remote possibility that this happened, I have to be open to that. And it's, if me dealing with it and y'all seeing it helps somebody else, hey, that makes everything worth it. It really, really does,
Yeah. Well, Tex, tell us about how this information was backed up by the people in your chat one day.
Oh, that
tell me about that.
That was insane. We were on that second show, and you had done that second viewing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about the footage of, the camera thing bouncing around and neither one of us being seen. And then I think it was, I can't remember if it was Barry or Batmom said, well, and I can't remember how it came up, but it was like, well, the other part of the footage shows the camera drop and then D run off. And I'm like, what? And then Barry or Batmom, either one, said, oh, yeah, I saw that part of the footage too. And I'm like, what? And I found this out live, and it rattled me, I had to, luckily it was timed at a 5-minute break we were taking. And I had to kind of pull myself together a little bit, but it's just crazy because they both said it. But I mean, one of them said it first and the other one confirmed it. And it's just like, and I've known these folks for a few years now, and I'm like, we've never talked about this, and so I found out right there with everybody else, and it was a shock to the system, and then because you had said that in your data, and it was just like, oh crap.
Because you were nowhere to be found. Yeah, it had taken you, and then he took off running because he was in a panic, because you literally went in a flash of light,
right,
and you were gone. It was like boom, and he got scared and ran, and then so there we go with him running and dropping the camera, and he just kept running. Yeah, but somehow you guys ended up walking back to your truck, finding the truck, and with his camera in his pocket or wherever it was, it's like nothing ever happened. Yeah. So go figure, right?
Strangeland says he's confused. Saw what, a UFO? No, we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Jessica saw all this remote viewing. This. Me and Dee have no recollection of anything happening. It was just a weird time loss thing, and that's all we,
Yeah. Well, that's interesting that you ask about that, though, about the UFO Strangeland, because when I was out in the field and I had, I guess I didn't know I had missing time, but I was out there with my partner, and I were in a field, and we were doing Bigfoot field research, and we were seeing UFOs flying around our heads. And I mean, one was a low flying UFO, and the others were way up in the sky. And we started having these weird equipment malfunctions, and his clocks went forward in hours and mine went back an hour. And we knew something more had happened. We had a whole lot of activity going on around us that night. But we believe there was some missing time that night as well. Yeah. So there was a
Yeah,
UFO in my case that I saw,
right.
but yeah, you didn't even see a UFO. You didn't see. Y'all thought you didn't have a whole lot of any activity that day, other than your missing time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just a weird situation, and you know, um, thank you. Um, YOLO, I hope you do. I hope you don't run that hotel. Oh, that's your Olo. Yep. Oyo
YOLO.
motel.
That's
Oyo.
YOLO.
Oyo motel is what I'm thinking about. Sorry, bro. But it the footage that I saw didn't have any flashes of light or anything. I have never seen the full footage of the entire day. Okay, from what I understand, it's pretty much lost. So, um, we have to take my word from what I said what footage I saw, and I've been saying that for years. But and then what Bat Mom and um, Barry Brown said the part of what they saw. So it was just strange that two different people confirmed it, had seen the footage at a different point in time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but,
it's really but it was actually really comforting to have that affirmation. The confirmations from the chat,
oh,
uh,
well,
I
for you,
always
I'm sure it
appreciate that.
was.
Yeah, well, I always appreciate that because it does sound kind of out there. But see, this is what I've
Oh
been
yeah,
trained to look for. Uh, the reason that I was trained in remote viewing was by it was because of the head of my team, my Bigfoot field research team. He actually is an amazing remote viewer, and um, he was training us in remote viewing to look into the paranormal stuff that happened to us out in the field.
right.
And so we're able to look into stuff like that in addition to whatever else we need to look into. Uh, but yeah, it was for paranormal stuff, and so that's why I love doing this. I love looking into paranormal missing time occurrences and attacks on humans by cryptids
Mm-hmm.
and inhumanoids, and it's just my jam. I love doing it. Now, is it always comfortable? No, it's not always comfortable to do this kind of stuff and to break the news to the people who are involved.
Right,
Um,
right.
and so that's why I was not going to do that live on air
Yeah,
with you.
you talked me out of that one. That's for sure. And I'm glad you
Yeah,
did. I really am.
yeah.
Hindsight being 2020, and I got to tell you, um, I gotta really say a sincere, heartfelt thank you to you because since you've been part of a team, you've opened my eyes to a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different views on stuff that
Yeah.
I had written off, and of what's out there and what we're, possibly dealing with. So I really, really want you to know that it means a lot
Well,
what you
thank
did for
you.
me and what you continue to do for me and everybody else. Because you do over on my channel, you do something that nobody else is doing, and that was by design.
Yeah.
Me and you sat down and figured it out. We had a lot of people. There was a lot of people talking about remote viewing, a lot of people talking about these critters, but there wasn't nobody remote viewing these encounters.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
well, I don't know a whole lot of people that would take the time to do stuff like this because, the people that I know who remote view, a lot of them, they would be, I mean, only ones I know really, the close ones are the ones that are on my team. And not all of them are real excited about remote viewing all the time. I am. I love it. Okay. I guess it's because I'm meant to do this. And of course, my friend Tanya comes on my show on Friday nights and remote views with me. We do it separately and then we bring our data together and it just all is so cohesive. And so it's such a blessing, Tex. I'm really glad that I've gotten to come on board and do a show because, you had an audience that might not normally watch what I do
mm-hmm.
in my shows, that may not have been so open to psychic ability stuff and remote
Right?
viewing. It was more just like, Bigfoot,
Yeah,
Dogman. But see, like I have the Dogman and Bigfoot aspect with my research and the aliens and the UFOs, but then I put another element on top of that, and that is with the remote viewing. So It's good. I think we've integrated pretty well,
Oh, I
and
do too.
I think we have. And what it is it's opened up people's minds that would not normally have ever even thought about looking into this kind of stuff in
Yep.
this manner. Yeah.
Yeah, counting
So
all of us. I mean, you got, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, he's like, oh, I believe in everything now. So he cracks me up when he says that. Oh, I believe in everything now. But
yeah,
it's all due to you.
well,
You
thank
know,
you. I'm glad that's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring in a little extra weirdness to wherever I go. I sprinkle it everywhere I go.
and I've been talking to Jason to get the biblical point of view on it.
Oh
You
man,
know,
yes. I really do appreciate that aspect. That angle is so important right now with
hmm
the biblical scholar aspect of all the paranormal activity that we have, especially since we all kind of see right now we are living in revelations. We're like in the end
yeah,
times. And by the end times, I don't mean like it's the end of the world. It's just the kind of the end of an era. Okay, we're kind of
yeah,
coming into a whole new way of being, into a whole new world that it's really new to all of us, and it requires, in order for us to ascend and to advance into this new world that we're going into, we need to have an open mind, and we need to kind of let go of a 3D way of living, and keeping our heads in the sand and living in fear. And we need to open our hearts up to love and to the possibilities of creating anything that we want to create, a whole new world of beauty in a lot of ways.
yeah.
And if I have to do that, and if I have to open people's minds through talking about Bigfoot and Dogman to make this world more beautiful, then that's what I'm doing. Okay.
Well, and I think everybody's over the last say 20 or 30 years, it's a very short period of time. Everybody's paradigms have shifted in a lot of different
Yes.
ways, and and we're struggling to keep up with it. But if we can
Yeah.
help, hey, why not?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have some very, I mean, even our encounters can be embarrassing.
Hmm
I mean, I have a lot of things that have happened to me in my personal life, and in paranormal wise, like talking about stuff I never in a million years thought I would ever say in public, and that's about having aliens in my bedroom. Okay, like that's something that I pretty much figured I would never talk about. Period. And there I've gone talking about it on the World Wide Web, so the whole world knows. Yeah, if you do a little digging on Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress, you will see that I have had aliens in my bedroom. Okay, twice that I know of. So it's just all part of the whole experience. Okay, so it's all part of our experience here, and so I don't know. I appreciate it, and so but there's so many hidden dangers in this work that we do out in the field,
It really is.
techs, and it's stuff that we're not even aware of. There's so much stuff
Hmm
we have no idea what's going on around us. Um, but yeah, leave it to me to uncover all the uncomfortable truths.
Well,
Right?
I think it may be uncomfortable, but I think it arms us too. You know, because we need to protect ourselves spiritually,
Hmm.
as well as physically when we go out. So, and I think the more information is power, and the more information we have when we go out there, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah, information and knowledge is key,
right?
and just I always encourage people to, yes, get out in the woods and go do things that just make you happy and enjoy Mother Nature. It's a great reset button. We all need to get more in tune with nature, uh, but be aware of your surroundings. We have
Right.
these portals out there that we've documented as far as my team goes.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
you've got a personal Dogman encounter experience. I've experienced Bigfoot, aliens. Of course, the aliens were in my house, but we've also had them elsewhere. Out in the field. So there's just a lot of stuff, and we're still here. We're still here today,
Yep.
but not to say that there's thousands of people across, especially the United States and national parks that have gone missing. Um, that we don't know where they went. So always carry protection of some sort, whether it be
Yeah.
a firearm, bear spray, the armor of God. Okay, always put on that armor of God every morning when you wake up, and
You
because
know,
we just don't know what's going to get us.
just to double down a little bit, you know, it's like I told Nick Valenti the other day. He was talking about carrying bear spray and holy water and everything. So why don't you just go get your bear spray blessed? Yeah. No matter what you run into, you're covered. You know.
Right. Right. Well, you know, there's a lot of people that don't agree with carrying, you know, any kind of weapons into into the field, and that's okay. Everybody's got their own
I was
thing.
one of them.
Yeah, but you know, the things that I've experienced, I just don't agree with that because I go really far out deep in the woods researching, and there's a lot of dangers as far as mountain lions and bears and all that kind of stuff. So you do have to, the armor of God will protect you spiritually, but we also have to be smart. And know our environment. So, and I think Tex, you know that just as well as anybody. So,
well, I mean, you know, we ran into them, you know, cops up there. They told us that they've had tiger sightings out there.
Joe Exotic, I think his tigers got out, right?
Yep, there were 17 cats unaccounted for.
Yeah, that's really scary. Yeah. So, Tex, this is actually gone by really fast. We're out of time tonight. So, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. I hope you'll come back and visit with me again here on Space Out Radio.
Just say the word.
You know I will. You know I will. We'll have you back, and I will see you at Texas Front Porch next week. What kind of lineup do you have going on next week with Texas Front Porch?
Well, Monday we've got Pine Island, research.
Okay.
Coming on with us. So me and Jason will be there talking to him, and he's got some good stuff to share. So that's going to be a good show.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you guys. Oh yeah. Keep going. We got Jason Mclean. Yeah, we got a bunch of shows going on. I have no idea what I'm going to remote view. I just got done with my remote viewing show on Friday, so I'll pick something in the morning to remote view for this week. So it's going to be another fun week of shows. You know, it is October, so I think we're going to get super creepy with the topics this month. At least I am.
I like it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. All right, Tex. Well, everybody, please go subscribe to Texas Front Porch on YouTube. Tex, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I will see you, I guess, tomorrow night on Texas Front Porch. Okay. All right. Bye, Tex. Thank you. All right. Okay, everybody. That was awesome. As always, don't forget right after this show, you can join the After Hours crew. They're going to take you on an incredible journey for the next 3 hours. Next time on Off the Trails, I'm going to have a very special guest for you guys. In addition to the Sasquatch Sisters, Northwest on Sunday. I can't wait to see all them, but for now, I'm the Cryptid Huntress, and I'm headed off the trails. I'll see y'all next week. I hope y'all have an incredible week. Please join me this Wednesday. I have a Glitch in the Matrix on my YouTube channel, The Cryptid Huntress. I have Jesus Payan coming to hang out with me and talking about the hidden history of the United States. It's going to be wild. I will see you guys next week. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye.